I love bread. I don't know about you, but bread. My mother would make it every Monday. That was bread making day. And I can remember coming home from school, and the house would just smell glorious. And then being on the farm and being of European descent, she'd take those little pieces she had left over and she'd fry them in what I'm sure was very healthy oil. But you'd have these little fried cakes, this fried bread, and of course on the farm we had real butter. And just to put that on there, let it melt and run down, so when you broke it up, you kind of sopped up the bread. And I loved the end piece. And the heel of the bread, I think they call that, probably the one that most of us throw out now, but the end piece, because Mom's crust on her bread was unbelievable. Bread is a staple if you're at all European. Other cultures and other ethnicities have different staples to their meal. When I would go to Zambia, they have shima. It's a kind of a corn meal, but it's really thick, and you would eat that with every meal. You would sop up the juice and the gravy with that, like we would with bread growing up. Jesus calls himself the bread of life. In that Jewish culture, it was a lot like the European culture with bread, but it had even more of a significance to the Jewish community because it went back to not only Passover, but it went back to their time in the wilderness, the manna that God had provided for them. It had a real holy and theological sense that bread was something that God gave to sustain every part of life. And in the text this week, Jesus calls himself the very sustenance of life. Really the only thing you need. The only thing you need. That's Jesus. We're into part 2 of our double part series, The One, talking about Jesus. This is us just spending 14 weeks understanding who it is that we live like. We've gone through 7 miracles, and now we're going to go through the 7 sayings, the 7 things that Jesus says about himself. Don't miss this weekend. You can be here on our campus from at 9 or at 10:30, or you can watch online, or you can catch up later in the week and look at it on the website, whatever it is, but don't miss it, and don't let your friends miss it. Make sure they're here with you. Do the ask this week and bring them along at 9 or at 10:30. 9's a little more traditional, 10:30 is contemporary. Pick the one that fits your style, and I'll see you on Sunday right here on Grasscoop. Have a great week.